everyone. I hope you are all having a wonderful Saturday morning. If you are new here, hello, my name is Miranda, and every summer I cover all things Big Brother. So if you love Big Brother, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to like and comment on this video. If you want to follow me on social media or donate to my channel or gift me something from my Amazon wish list, all of that information is always in the description box. Let's move on. Okay, so hopefully this video will be really quick. I just wanted to go over some of the things that happened last night. Last night was a full moon, and Sarah and I, if you guys remember, did an astrology predictions video for this season of Big Brother a few weeks ago, and we actually talked about July 23rd being a kind of crazy night or day for the house guests, and that absolutely was the reality. I don't think I'm going to go too deep into why it was crazy astrologically, because I do want to talk with Sarah and go over some of the dates for July that her and I talked about and see if we were right for those dates. But definitely for July 23rd, we absolutely were correct. Just to recap, Xavier is the head of household. Claire, Kyland, and Tiffany are the have-nots. Yesterday they played the wild card competition. Derek X, Tiffany, and Brittany all played in the competition. Apparently Derek X took Brittany out of the competition like right away. She was the first one out, and then he threw the competition to Tiffany, and Tiffany ended up winning. She declined whatever safety they offered her, and yeah, according to house guests, during the competition, or like right at the end of it, Derek F yelled at Tiffany, and then after the competition, Azah was really upset with Tiffany, and it was a whole mess. Like, honestly, it was a pretty crazy mess. But that was the aftermath of that. So tension was already going crazy at the nomination ceremony. And Xavier ended up nominating Brent and Brittany. Nobody was surprised but Brent over that nomination. Even fans, we were expecting Brent to be nominated by whoever won head of household. You know, of course, unless it was Brent who won, but thankfully he got out in the first round, so there was no chance of that happening. But the majority of the house guests were pretty much on the same plan with nominating Brent. They all agreed that Brent needed to go this week, so pretty much anybody who wanted the head of household was thrown it. So the house guests who didn't want it, you know, they didn't really try to win. The house guests who wanted it were there at the end, and Xavier ended up winning. He ended up following through and putting Brent on the block, but he also put Brittany up on the block. House guests weren't, well, I don't know, it was kind of thrown up in the air who would be put up on the block next to Brent. Brittany was talked about, Whitney was talked about, and even Alyssa to an extent was talked about, but it ended up being Brittany, which then sent Azah into another downward spiral. Like, before nomination, she even went up to Xavier's room and asked him to put her on the block instead of Brittany. Like, I don't know where she was coming from with that. Tiffany got really irritated with her because they ended up having a really tense conversation where Azah was basically just asking her, like, what happened? Like, why did you throw, or why did you win that wild card competition? You weren't in any danger. What was the point? And Tiffany, she came up with this excuse that if she hadn't won it, then, and if she had let Brittany win it, then Azah or Derek F would have been up on the block next to Brent. And that doesn't make any kind of sense. Like, in my mind, that's an awful excuse to come up with, because they're a part of the cookout. Derek F, Azah, Xavier, Tiffany, Kyland, they're all a part of the cookout, and I'm pretty sure Hannah is a part of it as well, but like possibly unofficially. I never saw an official conversation including Hannah, but she could be in there officially. Either which way, like, And so if I was Azah, I would be sitting in that conversation. In my mind, I would be like, so I must be really low in the ranking for our alliance, the cookout. And that would send a huge red flag to me. And I feel like that is possibly what happened with her. I think that she heard that. She was already on a downward spiral. She was already upset. She was already having trust issues within the house. And then Tiffany came up with that bullshit. And I think that it definitely set some alarms off in Azah's mind. And it kind of went even further downhill for her. I wish that Tiffany had just been honest with her and been like, look, the plan has always been for Brittany to be up on the block as a pawn. There is nothing to worry about. Like, make it real simple like that. Instead, she came up with this elaborate bullshit lie that only made Xavier look bad in Azah's eyes and eventually in Derek F's eyes, because of course Azah is going to tell Derek F. I mean, I don't know if she, I guess I shouldn't say that, because I don't know if she did go and tell Derek F what Tiffany said, but I'm assuming she did, because that's what I would have done. I would have like, Derek F, look, this is what Tiffany said to me, and it makes zero effing sense. But anyways, so they had that really intense conversation. Brent, the whole time, was going around the house. He's panicking, you guys. He realizes that he is not a pawn, and in every single conversation that he has been talking about, he has made it clear that he is not pawn material. He has said this himself. He is not pawn material. It makes zero sense. He is highly intelligent. He can read between the lines, and nobody is fooling him, you guys. He sees it for what it is. He is the target, and he is just this big brother god that nobody would ever use as a pawn. So he's definitely going to be targeted this week. And it was so funny to see like Derek X, well, his whole team really, Derek X, Whitney, and Hannah, trying to be like fake supportive of Brent and like listening to his bullshit. But it really I was watching it and I was having a hard time keeping a straight face. Like, I don't know how I would have been able to sit in a room with him and let him go through his spiel and keep a straight face. It was just too much. Like, he has the biggest ego I've ever seen, even worse than Frenchie. It was crazy. He's the biggest misogynist I've ever seen in the Big Brother house. Like, at one point he told Tiffany and Claire, if he stays, they'll be able to touch any part of his body. That's what he said. Yeah. So I don't know where his mind is at. He thinks that he is just John Travolta, or I don't know, you know, like some like hottie. I don't fucking know. But he thinks that he is that person, and he's just insane. He's insane. He's just too much. This is the kind of guy who needs to be rejected more, but if you reject him like straight out, he's gonna insult you, you know? Anyways, and then let me see my notes, hold on. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Derek X and Azah ended up having a conversation as well, and this was the last one that I kind of saw. I was getting really sleepy at this time, so but they basically had a conversation. She asked why he threw it, and he was very honest with her about it. He was the only one that was straight up and like super honest with her about it, and I think that that is what Tiffany should have done, but I don't know. Azah and Derek X had a really good relationship. I don't think that they do anymore. Azah just seemed to really be in her emotions last night, which is so on brand for a full moon, and the tension was all there. I just feel like she feels that she's at the bottom of the ranking in her Cookout Alliance, and I think that she's worried about losing someone that she feels that she could trust outside of that alliance, which is Brittany. Now, we know that Brittany isn't the most trustworthy. We know that. Like, Azah really shouldn't be placing so much trust in Brittany, but she does. She doesn't know everything that we know. And it's just really frustrating. People on Twitter are like making it a Tiffany versus Azah thing, and just, ugh, it's really hard to watch because I see where both women are coming from, but we have to remember as fans that this is a social experiment game, and not everybody is going to play the same way that Tiffany plays, or that Xavier plays, or that Sarah Beth plays. Everybody does things their own way, and they only know so much. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I hope to see you guys in my next video, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you guys later.